Imagine being on the ground in Israel and watching that come from next door, the Hezbollah terrorists firing rockets into northern Israel last night. You know, that's one of the terror groups that are funded and basically directed by Iran. The entire Middle East now is on high alert as the U.S. reportedly believes Iran will directly attack Israel as soon as today. President Biden is expected to gather his National Security Council for a meeting in the Situation Room just a few hours from now. It has been nearly a week since a top Hamas political leader was killed in Iran and a Hezbollah commander was killed in Lebanon. Critics say the Biden-Harris administration got us here.
This administration got this thing wrong from the very beginning. The Houthis are now attacking U.S. ships, commercial ships and U.S. military ships, and they fired a drone into Israel. Iran funds Hezbollah, they fund Hamas. This could have been completely preventable. This is an absolute disaster brought to you by really bad decisions by the Biden-Harris administration.
And our nation is boosting military presence in the region. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin announced the Pentagon will deploy additional fighter jets and Navy warships, including cruisers and destroyers, which can shoot down ballistic missiles. Trey Yingst in Haifa, Israel, with more now. How that nation where you are is preparing for what we know or highly suspect will be an imminent attack. Trey.
Yeah, Harris, good morning. Israel is on edge today as the country braces for an attack from Iran and its proxies. The Wall Street Journal reports that Iran told U.S. and Arab diplomats it didn't care if a counterattack caused a war in the region. We do know just yesterday, Jordan's foreign minister traveled to Iran for a meeting. President Biden scheduled to speak with Jordanian King Abdullah II today, but there has been very little public Iranian interaction with those trying to avert a crisis. With this in mind, Israel is taking steps to prepare for a prolonged conflict, as reports indicate the initial Iranian response could come in waves and include extensive missile and drone attacks. Iran's top IRGC general saying this today.
When it receives a firm response, it will realize it has been wrong. They keep making miscalculations. They repeated this mistake this time too. They will once again get a taste of our punishment. They will find out when, where, and how we will retaliate. It is ambiguous and indeterminate.
A document sent to mayors of northern cities told officials here to prepare for water outages, power cuts, and evacuations. And in Jerusalem, an underground command bunker for government officials was opened by the Shin Bet security agency. Preparations for war in the north and with Iran comes as fighting rages on inside the Gaza Strip. Israeli negotiators traveled to Cairo, Egypt this weekend for talks about a possible ceasefire, but made no progress. Israel has
Riots erupted on the streets of Southport last night following a knife attack on Monday which left 3 girls dead and other young children in a critical condition. Rioters gathered around a mosque not far from the scene of the stabbings. Vehicles were set alight and projectiles thrown at riot police by people believed to be supporters of the English Defence League. Residents trapped inside their homes watched the mayhem unfold from their windows. Some police officers were seriously injured with broken bones, lacerations and concussion. Northwest Ambulance Service treated 39 police officers, with 27 of them taken to hospital. These violent scenes have been condemned by the government.
The community there are absolutely reeling from the horrific incident that took place 2 days ago, and to have that space that they need to process the trauma, to grieve, overshadowed by this violence and disorder, I think is completely unacceptable. And it's right that the Prime Minister and the Home Secretary have made clear that those responsible, in many cases from what we can tell, not from the town or even from Merseyside, should feel the full force of the law.
3 little girls, Elsie, Alice and Bibi, were killed in Monday's attack. This quiet town was already weighed down by grief, adding to that burden the clean-up from last night's chaos.
I was trying to hold my gate there closed because I've got 2 kids inside, so they were frightened there. So they were just climbing over the fences there. Tried to rip off my wall, they tried to put the sun on fire, moved my car on the driveway there just to make sure it's not going to get destroyed. All the bins were flying from here. It's just terrifying, isn't it?
Before the riots, a vigil was held in Southport. Families and children among the thousands who went. The community came together before others tried to tear it.
আরো কয়েকজনের নাম শোনা যাচ্ছে, তাদের সাথে কথা বলে নিশ্চয়ই একটা জায়গায় তারা পৌঁছে একটা ব্রিফিং আমরা কিছুক্ষণের মধ্যে শুনবো। কি হতে যাচ্ছে, কিভাবে হতে যাচ্ছে, কোনো কিছুই পরিষ্কার না।
মানুষের আনন্দ উচ্ছ্বাসের সাথে আমরা এটাও দেখছি স্ক্রিনে যে মানুষ চেয়ার নিয়ে চলে যাচ্ছে।
অনেক অনেক বাংলাদেশের আইন শৃঙ্খলা বাহিনীর সদস্য, পুলিশের সদস্য প্রাণ হারিয়েছেন। সত্যি কথা বলতে
আমরা দেখতে পাচ্ছি যে এখানে এই যে গণভবনের ভিতরের মাঠ রয়েছে বিভিন্ন, সেখানে কিন্তু মানুষজন ঢুকছে, তারা বলছে যেটি যে